Morning, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate Graham, and if this is your first time joining us, then hello and welcome. This is the space where we explore what is on our hearts, what's underneath our hearts, what- and then also what expands beyond them. So we do intuition development, oracle work, pendulum things. Today is an oracle reading. So whenever you see this, it is the right time for you to see this. So if it's not exactly June 2nd, 2023, then don't worry about it. Just take what message comes out of this reading. That can be done with any of my readings. You can take any of them, even from years ago when I had short hair and I looked, I don't know, probably the same, but a little different in the hair region anyway. And yeah, and you can just take them for whatever they bring you. I used to do pick a card readings, and they were fun. They take a good amount of time, um, but I did like doing them. So there's lots of little pick a card readings on there from when I used to live right by a lake. So I was in like a little beach house. Okay, what do we need to know today? Today is Venus Day Friday. I have it on my list to make those days of the week videos. So maybe next week I'll end up getting to them. Days of the week. So today's Venus Day, beauty, love, self romance, regular romance. It might be romance with other people as well. I guess that's why so many couples ended up going on date nights on Fridays, right? Is because you have that kind of already built into the energy. I'm really feeling like a lot of power today. I'm really feeling a lot of power. Um, I'm feeling a lot of like I feel like I should go do a workout today. I have plans in the evening. I was like, maybe I could still do a workout. I probably will because it feels like a lot of maybe I'll do a workout on my lunch break. Yeah, it just feels like a lot of energy. Um, I feel also like a lot of energy in the root, and I'm feeling specifically that it has to do with like family, feeling like a lot of family structure with us today, that like stable feeling. And I feel a bit of excitement caught in the throat. So that feels much more connected to something romantical, um, something caught in the throat. Like I get this feeling, someone wanting to say something. For some of you, it's some of you wanting to say to yourself what it is you desire in romance, what it is you desire, and actually indulge in that image and in that imagining. And for some of you, it's actually a person. It's like a person who wants to say something and yet they're not making it known right now. They want to say something. Um I keep seeing like typing out a message, typing it back, typing out a message, and like this fear of feeling like too much. This fear of um pushing things into some direction before they're ready. So I see this person, if you're resonating with this part of the story, I see your person um intimidated by and afraid of the risk the risk of love. Yeah. Okay, so very important romance reading here. So I'm just going to jump in with this person that I'm tuning into, and then we'll go back to the collective daily oracle. So if this doesn't resonate with you, just skip ahead a couple seconds or keep listening. Maybe there's a piece of it that will resonate. So we have deception, which says someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. And this is the person. This is the person I was just tuning into. This person has a false self mask on. So they are in a sense, believing that they're one way and trying to convince themselves that they're one way and not another. So, if you're someone um, who really craves, I don't know, maybe you crave a partner who is like very aware and loves to listen or something like that. And then this person is like doing their best to show you that like they're totally there, they totally get everything, but they're not actually listening and taking things in. It's like they're wearing a false self mask because if they were stopping trying to impress you with all of their knowledge, they would actually gratefully listen and just try to learn. But because they're a little bit self-conscious and a little bit afraid of rushing too much, they're almost like filling the gap. Like they don't want to listen. If they listen, they might start caring about you a bit too much. There's something about that for someone. It could also be that someone is believing that they're not meant to have a relationship, that they're actually meant for a much more like freedom seeking type of existence, or like multiple partners and casual affairs and these types of things. And so then their fear is to actually go and actually be involved and be committed with you. And it might just be because that's what they're feeling. So no matter what the situation is, you'll feel out what the situation is for you in time or now. Their fear is getting to the core of who they are. And so it doesn't really actually have anything to do with you, but you are like the trigger. You are like the thing that has caused them to start questioning and thinking, well, who am I really? Oh, well, if I end up going over that way with them, then I'll need to be like this. And for whatever reason, you may not have said that. You may have said that. You might have said, listen, I only want things to be this kind of way. And they might go, oh my gosh, that's what I want, but I don't want to say that's what I want. Because I don't want to say that's what I want, I'm just going to fill the air with this other stuff. Um, so yeah, I feel like some sort of like distraction. So deception is they're like deceiving themselves. Pay attention to the red flags. And I see this as like being unbothered. So it says the signs are cautioning you. And I read these cards differently depending on the situation that I feel that comes out. Because there's only so many cards. I don't know how many cards are in this deck. Does it say? Doesn't tell me. If I was doing, I am going to do my Oracle deck reviews. I bet it's going to tell me a lot about what I want from my own Oracle decks. But this doesn't say the amount of cards. And I think it's nice to know the amount of cards that are in a deck because, you go, oh, what are the odds? But yeah, there's not tons and tons of cards in this deck. So situations are so different. Every situation and relationship is unique. I tend to just read into them what I feel intuitively. I'm meant to read. Um, I'm doing a precarious surgery of cords right now. Maybe someone is getting a surgery. Someone has a surgery upcoming. And if there's any type of fear or like avoidance of that, I would also ask you to take a look at your own self-love and the way that you value the rest of your days, being well. And there's something to me about this surgery thing because it's a very odd way for me to have just described that. Okay. It's all done. My surgery's done. Everything went smoothly. My phone is now charging. Okay, so the red flags and the being cautioned. It feels like being cautioned to not get involved with what is not yours. So when I was saying that, this is more to do with them and more to do with their own fears and more to do with how they're dealing with those, I mean that, I mean that. You don't need to take on someone else's process. And it doesn't mean that you have to wait longer. It doesn't mean that you're any more or less lovable or worthy of love. It just feels like you don't need to take this on. This is not your responsibility. And in fact, when they ready themselves, they take off the mask and then they, yeah, drop their red flags, whatever those are. I don't really feel like they have major red flags. It's more like little hints of things that you're feeling. They are resolving and sorting out on their own. And so for you to get involved means you're getting involved in stuff that they are trying to ignore themselves or they're trying to get rid of themselves. So it's like too much. It's like too many people all involved in that. And even though it might make sense for you to say, oh, well, I really want to say something about it so that they know, so that they feel encouraged. No, you want them to feel encouraged on their own. Let you be the inspiration. Let them be their own muse. Let them figure it out for themselves what they want from their life without you having to say it. And then also stay optimistic about your love life. So this pay attention to the red flags. It's like take caution, but also hold out hope. It's very funny. So that's why I felt like it was making a progression. Pay attention to the red flags moves on to stay optimistic about your love life. And it's like make an offering up. Make an offering up and say, here's the love that I actually want. Here's the love that I dream of. Here's the feelings that I hope to have and all these things. Let yourself imagine if you were to write a romance novel, ending or whatever to your life, what would that look like? What would it feel like? And that might not show up all right in the instant that things begin, but it will show up at some point if you put that out there. It says positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And I had one really fun session once that was hypnotherapy, and it was about romantic anxiety, like relationship anxiety, like fear of intimacy in a way. And it was such a beautiful session to see what was at the core of that. And the core of these feelings were all from like under age 18, right? So we may think we've grown up and we've learned and we've adulted and we've gotten through all of those like silly things that maybe would have affected us as a kid, but now they don't affect us because we are no longer a kid. And we tend to forget like the importance and impact that some of these early experiences have on our hearts. And our hearts remember, our hearts hold this emotional memory. And then if we ignore that in the case of wanting to go from instinct and from logic, or even just trusting our intuition, but not actually trusting our feelings, we're totally missing a section. And so I feel like this is potentially happening with you also. Um, and that's being mirrored in your connection. So I feel like this is happening with you if you're in this collective and resonating with this message today, that you have a little bit of, like, I would go so maybe it's a bit of a hang up, a bit of like a resistance or a fear towards intimate connection in a sense that is about like trusting that like this big love that you dream of is possible. Okay. So we have look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. You are stronger than you realize. So you are capable of all of the icky, shadowy, intense, raw, unfiltered feelings that are in your frequency, in your life, actually. Whatever wants to come through you, you are capable of holding these and of transmuting them. You are stronger than you realize. Look to your inner strength. And I was saying today, I feel this sense of power. We have lightning power. Power is on your side today, and power behind your self love and behind your ability to love others. Today could be a great day for figuring out how you can extend unconditional love across the board to anyone. And actually, the more that you tune into this energy of unconditional love and you mean it and you feel it and you are it and you be it and then you behave it, the more that actually you draw that same unconditional love back to you. You recognize it better because you are it. So then you recognize yourself when you see yourself and this divine love outpouring from you. You recognize when it comes back in full. So we have rainbow blessings and also Gaia, which is nurturing. So if lightning is this masculine power and we are focusing on our strength, we also need to remember that there is this celebration and this nurturance process that is all a part of this. And if you're relating to that romantic connection, I see your person actually does need some nurturing. So if you do end up connecting with them, some sort of nurturing or comforting, soothing type of quality may be exactly what, validation and those types of things, appreciation, those might be needed. And I do see that there's a lot of power in self healing today. So anyone who is putting their energy towards self healing, especially as it gets them closer to receiving better, fuller love, you will have these, rainbows on your side. I see this as like a trajectory, right? It's like a storm now, a rainbow later, and then this beautiful earth as a result. And so it goes wider and wider and wider. I'm going to pull one more Whispers of Love card for this how to tune into unconditional love or what we can do to connect further with that. And then I will post this for the day. And I'll be back on Sunday and I might do some videos before then. Okay, yeah. So don't be quiet about this unconditional love. As soon as you're feeling it, it's time to demonstrate. Demonstrate love today. So it's about taking action, giving of this same frequency that you've cultivated for yourself so that you can watch immediately how this cycles back to you. And it doesn't need to be leaving your house, even. You can send an unconditionally loving, infused message to someone, and perhaps someone who you feel really, really deserves or needs to hear this today. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. And this is such a beautiful thing. Finding out how people love to be loved and where they learned love from. It could even just be that some of your close people, you ask them how they most love to be loved. If you've never heard of love languages, that might be a great thing to sink your teeth into. It also might be really interesting to know what your own Venus sign is in. That may tell you what you are looking for in love. So my Venus is in Aries. So I tend to look for, and they say that the Venus is like your divine feminine expression, your divine masculine expression is in your Mars, right? So my Venus is in Aries, but my Mars is in Pisces. So my Mars and my ability to like go into conflict and that like aggression is really like a lot softer because it's this watery Pisces. It's just like a little fish flapping around. But my Venus in Aries means I love with an intensity and an honesty and a clarity and a forward motion and in this fiery way. And so you might look at, okay, that's how I express it. So I'm going to look to do things this way today. And then I'm going to look out for how other people receive it, how other people express it. You might want to know the Venus signs of some of the people who are closest to you in life that might be of value to you. So enjoy happy self love, romance, and beauty day. Explore this idea of unconditional love. Let me know if you resonate with any of the little stories or pieces that came out today. Um, I'm seeing someone filling up a sugar bowl. So I don't know what that means, but I'm seeing someone filling up a sugar bowl. So take that if it resonates. It feels very odd. And I'm also seeing sugar snap peas, like those green, like sugar snap peas. Anyways, enjoy those little messages if they were for you. I will be back on Sunday, like I mentioned, for the live collective weekly reading and back daily for these YouTube Oracle readings. I'm going to be going on a trip like later in June, and I'm deciding whether or not to do the daily Oracle readings. Let me know if you think it would be fun. I'm happy to do them. And honestly, I'm happy to bring a few decks with me. Let me know if it'd be fun if I did like a specific type of reading in that time, or I did like messages. Um, I'll be traveling, but happy to, pull out my phone and do a YouTube reading in the mornings. But I just wouldn't be able to bring all my decks. So let me know if there's any decks that you like, seeing me pull from, or you'd love if I talked more about this type of thing, or if I specialize in this type of reading when I was away. I don't know. Let's just see what comes up. If it comes up for anyone, any ideas, if not, I'll decide. Don't worry about me. Lots of ideas, lots of decisions to make. So I will see you all later. Enjoy the rest of your days. Take care, everybody. Thank you for listening. And make sure you like this and comment and subscribe if you want to keep supporting this channel. I'm so, so blessed that so many people do. Really makes my day whenever I see those come in. So thank you.